passive income, two magical words that align perfectly with Drip and the Drip network. You know, the big flex used to be, you know, having the big company car, the big house on the big side of town. Well, it's 2023 and my mindset's changed a lot. The big flex for me now is geographically independent money. And if you don't know what I'm talking about money that you can make literally sitting in your pants. Anywhere on earth, wherever you are, you're getting an income. And I think the last sort of few years has really changed my perspective on things. And now I see the real flex as freedom money, money you can make from anywhere, not being tied down to one geographical place. That, you know, most forms of income are. We've all done those types of jobs where we've had to go to a singular place of work and travel back and forth in traffic, and that sort of thing isn't a big flex for me anymore. And I've heard a question that's been asked before, and it kind of really hit home actually, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Would you rather have an income of $150,000 a year in a traditional way? For example, you go to one place of work, you work 5 or 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, you know, and you make your 150k a year. Or would you rather earn 50,000 a year completely passively from, say, from investments that you're not having to do anything for, just set and forget? Now, leave me your response in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Now, I'm not going to give you my response right away, but I am going to say this. There was a quote I heard once and it stuck with me and has never left. And that quote is, if you work for a company or a boss, you're someone else's passive income. Now, let that marinate for a minute. Personally for me, that's something I could never forget. And my first taste of geographically independent income was through owning an e-commerce store. But my real first taste was through the Drip network and through investing in Drip. And it's certainly something that started to really change my perspective on how I made money. And the more you look into things like this, the more you start to understand how this sort of, if you want to call it a matrix, is set up. Systems such as the tax system that takes a good percentage of everything you earn, everything you buy, everything you do, and like the 5-day work week or even 6-day work week for many people now. A lot of people have got like multiple jobs now in order to try and keep up with inflation. The wages aren't going up quickly enough, everything's getting more and more expensive, and the noose is kind of tightening around the necks of people. And when you really break it down, yes, they're stealing money, but we all know that fiat money doesn't actually exist. It's just created on a computer system. It's something that doesn't actually exist in reality. It can be printed into infinity and it has no real bearing on real life. However, what does have bearing on real life is your time. And if we break it down even further, it's your recreational time. And if you want to break down that word even further, recreation becomes recreation. Now, there's a lot of little Easter eggs left within the words and the language that we use. And this one's a really interesting one, that when they steal your recreational time, they're stealing your recreation. So recreational time or recreational time is where we really start to expand as human beings. You know, we can philosophize, we can do things that we enjoy, we can sort of start evolving as a human being, and taking those steps to really start to break out of the fixed ways of thinking that we're sort of led into from birth. So what they're really stealing from you is your recreational time, is your leisure time, and the time that it really takes for you to evolve. They have you trapped in a system where you are going to and from work 8 to 10 hours a day, and that's kind of how the matrix is set up. So once you start thinking a little bit differently about things, and you start to get involved in, you know, projects and investments that pay you no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, it starts to release the link between hours and money. And there's a very kind of evil saying, really, if you think about it, that time is money. And that's completely not true, or it should never be true. But it is the case that we're all paid on an hourly basis. We've all done it. we're paid per hour, and your time is given a value. And whilst you're doing that particular job, you cannot break the bond of that time and money correlation. So if you're working for $20 an hour or $30 an hour, that is fixed in place and there's nothing more you can do about it. But there's only so many hours in a day, and you can't just keep working. You can't create more time. You can create more money out of thin air, as we know, but you can't create more time. And that's where the chains of this sort of, if you want to call it a matrix, are really set in place. Gracias. So by changing the way you think and changing the way you invest, a lot of this can be solved, and things like drip for me are a big player in that. You know, I can come to Mexico and I can travel, and I love traveling, and have a investment that's paying me 24/7, and that's a compounding investment as well. So it's not like I'm stuck receiving just the exact same amount all the time. Obviously some of that will depend on the value of drip in US dollar terms, but it is still something that is helping to break the bond between my labor, my daily labor, my hourly labor, and receiving of wealth. So a very interesting topic. It's one I could probably talk about for hours. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm going to try and kind of keep this a little bit short. So I've got a ton of stuff to do today. It's a beautiful day in Mexico again. I'm kind of getting used to this sunshine out here, a lot different from the UK in general. I want to give a massive shout out to everyone that's involved in the testing of drip, drop, draw. I know there's over 100 people involved at the moment, and I've heard on the grapevine a lot of people were up to all hours of the morning last night or this morning, so sort of 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get this last phase of testing done. Now it could potentially be the last phase of testing. That will be down to Forex Shark, and that will be down to how it all goes and how it all pans out. But we are obviously very close, and it's extremely exciting times. Hola.
Hola. No te jales.
So huge shout out to them guys getting involved in the testing, and a massive shout out to all the drip maxes out there, to the Crypto Collective. I'm going to leave the Crypto Collective Telegram group link in the description, so if you want to jump on board and be around other maxis during these exciting times, hit that link and join the Telegram group. So massive shout out to them. Massive shout out to everyone that's doing their bit as part of this community project. Drip it's a community project, and the price is dictated by us as a community. So anyone who's fudding their own bags, I don't know what to say to you. I'll put up a little meme to describe how I feel about that. But I jumped in yesterday and bought another 700 drip just to stack my bags before it all kicks off. I'm happy to do that. I've been DCA in the last few weeks at these prices. And a little word on the fudders actually. That obviously there's still plenty around, and there will be all the way up until probably drip, drop, draw releases. That's totally understandable. That's how people are, and it's a little bit about the immaturity of the DeFi space. So we kind of know it's going to happen. But one thing I don't tend to do is I don't immediately block fudders when they comment on my Twitter or if they comment on my YouTube. I know a lot of people are just like, no, just block them, straight block them. But I'm operating a kind of a one strike and you're out rule. I mean, like, if someone comes to me, you know, and uses some mathematics or whatever, and I know it's wrong, or they make a claim that I'm at a loss when I'm not, then I'll take the time out of my day sometimes to break the maths down for them and kind of show them that they're wrong, they've misunderstood the idea of the compounding interest or whatever like that. And if they come back to me and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I didn't realise that, then I feel as though I've done something positive for the drip community. However, if they come back to me in like a soy rage and still can't accept and start denying the mathematics, then you get blocked. It's that simple really. But I feel like, you know, being on YouTube and everything, part of that is to not only sort of, you know, bring positivity to the drip community, but it's also to provide a little bit of, maybe if you want to call it education, I don't like calling it education, but let's call it education, because if someone really is fudding their own bag or whatever, and they don't realise that they're doing it for the wrong reasons, or they don't realise that they're wrong, it's probably best that I at least explain it to them so that maybe in future they won't be fudding their own bag, and they can be a positive part of the drip community. And then I've done my bit. Now obviously nothing I say is financial advice, and guys, one thing, don't listen to anyone on YouTube in order to make an investment. Do your own due diligence on everything that you do, take full responsibility for everything you do. That's exactly what I do. If I'm going to put my hard-earned money into anything, rest assured it's going to be with my due diligence beforehand. So that's one thing I would recommend. Don't listen to anyone, do your own thing. But if I can bring something positive to this community, it's the best community in DeFi, hands down. There's absolutely nothing that even compares. And a few tweets that I've dropped recently, I've made the point of there's nothing even worth talking about in DeFi other than drip. And the funny thing is, as you get fudders jumping on there, talking about drip, and it just further proves my point. There's nothing even worth talking about other than the drip network in DeFi. If you know of anything else, let me know. I still cannot find it myself. So will we get the DDD timer today? I don't know. I'm going to be keeping an eye on things today. It's very, very exciting times. If it doesn't come out today, I've got no issue with that. The price is still around 18 cents. So I might even drop another little bag in later on, grab a few more, because for me, now is the time for preparation. Now is the time for getting those bags ready. So many people are sort of so desperate for the next bull run, but I'm like, I don't know, am I the only person who kind of sometimes gets a bit annoyed when there's green candles? Because for me, I'm just in a pure accumulation mindset right now. I just want to build bags and, you know, get myself ready. And for me, I can never have enough of the projects that I'm invested in, because I've studied the projects and I believe in the projects, and I can never have enough. So when it goes up in price, it means I'm getting a lesser value. So I'm certainly not fussed if it comes out today or tomorrow or whenever. All I know is that we're in the final stages of testing. DDD is coming. It's going to be phenomenal for the drip network. And let's not forget Scratchies, Drip Pot Luck, Drip 21, and all of these other utilities that are coming. So take your time, Forex. You know, you've not let us down with any breaches or rugs in the past, and I'm confident that's going to be exactly the same situation this time. It's going to be perfect. It's going to run absolutely smoothly, and when it's ready, it's ready. So in the meantime, I'm going to be accumulating drip and going about my day here in Mexico City. I'm off to the gym straight after this, so it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a positive day, positive start to the day. I've got a pre-workout in the bag, and there's a dog yapping over there, ruining my video. But as you know, I'm a big dog lover. Mr. Wilkins back in the UK doing just great, by the way. I might even drop a little photo of him in here. I've been getting plenty of updates from family who are looking after him at the moment. So yeah, it'd be great to have him out here doing walks and talks with him. But when I'm back in the UK, there's plenty more walks and talks to come. And by the time I'm back in the UK, I'm presuming that DDD will be out. I've got another couple more months out here in Mexico City, so I'm going to be enjoying that time, just hydrating, chilling, staying bullish, networking with some awesome drip maxis, hitting the gym, staying healthy, and enjoying life in general. And I just wanted to add, I've just hit a massive milestone on my YouTube journey. As a new YouTuber, to hit 500 subscribers is a massive deal. And I looked this morning, I was at 504 subscribers, and I am feeling absolutely blessed about that. So a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's supporting the channel, who's commenting, who's liking, who's subscribing. It just means a lot to me, and I'm glad that I'm able to make a positive impact on this awesome community. So if you're watching this and you think, oh, I kind of like this guy, he's pretty cool, then just smash that subscribe button. In fact, don't smash it, rock bottom it, and leave me some love in the comments. Rest assured, I will love you long time if you do. So I hope you guys all have an absolutely blessed day, whatever you're doing. Stay bullish, stay hydrated, and I'll see you all in the next video.